When you ask a high school athlete what they plan on majoring in, you normally expect to hear things like communications, I don't recommend that, law, or even medicine. But it was Rachel Hager's major that drew us to her. Donette Logan has more on the Hoover High School Basketball Center.
From action on the court to the classroom to the veterinarian office where she works, Rachel Hager is your typical high school student. But when we heard what she was planning on majoring in, it got our attention.
I'm majoring in psychology and Christian counseling.
We weren't the only ones who were a little surprised when we heard Rachel's major, not because of what it is, but whether it was something we'd not heard of. But we quickly found out it's a perfect fit for the Hoover High School senior.
I'd never heard of it, but I also know her, and I know that she lives that out. She does it every single day, and I think that's one thing as Christians. Sometimes we all fall short, but sometimes when we put our faith out, people are quick to judge and say, hey, you may not be what you say you are, and she does that every single day and walks the walk, not only talks the talk.
Psychology wasn't the part that stood out for most of us, but the focus on Christian counseling. Rachel knows the psychology aspect will allow her to help others, but adding the Christian counseling just brings in another chapter.
I'm very strong in my faith, and I want to be the type of person who, when I talk and help to people, I want to bring God and religion into it and help them devote their lives to Christ.
Sharing her faith isn't anything new for Rachel. She's been doing it for quite some time with the Lady Bucks.
She leads them in prayer before practice every day, but also in the locker room she's very encouraging to her classmates because the way she handles herself on and off the court, she's got that competitive credibility with them.
Every day before practice we usually do a shoot around, and before we officially start we all gather around in a big circle, and we either link arms, but because we can't do that because of COVID, we just stand silently, and I'll pray over the whole team, praying over having a good practice, praying over people with injuries, praying over the world, anything that's brought to our attention.
Just like Rachel's passion to share her faith comes natural, at 6'1", so did her ability to stand out on the court. But when you see her play, you see the passion for the game.
People always told me, hey, do you play basketball? You're so tall. I was like, before I started, I was like, no, I don't, but I decided to give it a try, and I absolutely fell in love with it. I fell in love with the passion, the rush, the adrenaline, scoring a basket or getting back on defense. It's always just been a big rush to me.
For most, juggling school, athletics, and church would be enough, but Rachel also finds time to work at a veterinarian office. It takes a little time management, but she manages to get it all done and still put in extra work on the court.
I think that's the hardest part for people to realize that high school kids are doing what college kids are doing 10 years ago. Our kid, she works, but also she comes in here on the weekends and gets what we call the gun under the basket and gets 1 million shots up a week, so that she can be better at her craft to earn a scholarship, athletically as well as academically. But just handling that and handling that emotionally and socially is a huge part of being a high school student in this day and age.
Rachel Hager has committed to Faulkner State in Montgomery, where she will play basketball. When she graduates, she plans to open her own practice. But until then, she wants to leave an impact at Hoover High School.
If you ever see me around, don't be afraid to come up to me, because I'm not like your ordinary person. I love people, I love to socialize, and I just hope I can make an impact on the world that I believe I can do.
Donette Logan, High School Sports Weekly.